What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Sinister Bunny Studios, your go-to channel for heavy metal content. Now, if you're wondering to yourself, some things seem different. It is true. You're not going crazy or anything like that. Some things have changed, and I'll be talking about a couple different new things for the channel and for me in some upcoming videos. I won't discuss it here because this video is very specific, but there have been some changes to things regarding the channel and my life and stuff like that. So I'll be getting to those in some later videos, but not here today. Today is more serious. So I recently ordered a product and was highly disappointed with its performance and everything basically surrounding it. And without further ado, I'll just kind of jump into the product itself. So if you are anywhere in the world of home recording, home audio, you might know the name Focusrite. They have a staple in the home recording, bedroom recording type of world for having some simple and easy to use products. And I have never used them before. And I have been searching for a new interface to lower my latency for recording my guitar parts because I've been having some issues with latency with my mixer. It's a few years old, and it was just time to get something a little more dedicated for my guitar inputs to get as low latency as possible. So I went out and ordered a Focusrite Solo, and I got the 3rd gen. And let's just say I am not happy with this. I got this, I was very excited. I was ready to open it up, plug it in, get to using it, have that low latency, and just be a happy camper. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. What happened was I spent about 4 or 5 hours trying to get it to work when I first got it, and that led nowhere. I still didn't get it to work. It was having issues with the drivers, and I couldn't select it as my main driver in Cubase. For those of you who don't know, when you go into your control panel for Cubase, you can pick what drivers you're using for your audio, like your sound card and stuff like that. And so normally you would have like ASIO drivers, like general ASIO drivers. That's pretty normal if you're a Windows user. But interfaces like this have their own dedicated drivers that are supposedly better. And so when you use something like this, you want to pick its drivers in your DAW, like I would in Cubase, to get all the benefits that you can from this. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to load those drivers or pick it as my main like sound card or whatever in Cubase. It would fail to load, and I would get a weird error code. And so I got very frustrated and didn't know what to do. I'm fairly tech savvy, so I'm not stupid when it comes to technology and stuff, and even I couldn't get it to work. So I went and contacted the technical support, which was another issue. I called the Focusrite technical support number and talked to an individual who shall remain unnamed, and the whole conversation lasted maybe 5 to 10 minutes, if that. And the entire time, the individual who I spoke with seemed very unprofessional. They seemed like they were very annoyed that I had called them, and they were trying everything that they could to end the conversation as quickly as possible. And that's basically why the conversation was so short. They, again, seemed very annoyed and basically said, after I explained to them what was going on, they were like, oh yeah, give me your email and I'll send you these other drivers that should work for this unit. I said, okay, all right, I'll take your word for it. Bit my tongue and didn't want to go after them for being very unprofessional. And so I ended up emailing this individual back and forth for about a week. They took quite a long time to reply. And, you know, it's understandable. You're a big company. You probably got a lot of people to deal with, and I'm just one of them. So I wasn't too angry there. At least they did get back to me. It did take a day or two every once in a while, but it is what it is. And basically, they sent me some beta drivers, right? And so I tried that, and still didn't work. And no BL, I could not get this unit to work. There are some major issues with the drivers and getting them to work. I tried everything. I uninstalled and reinstalled the drivers and restarted my computer probably 12.5 times to try to get it to work. I tried all different combinations of cables, USB ports, having it plugged in when I restart, having it not plugged in when I restart, and doing everything possible. But yes, I could not get the drivers to work. I restarted my computer a million times, I uninstalled and reinstalled the drivers a million times, and I could not get it to work. And another weird thing that happened was it would freeze every other time. Basically, there are lights on the unit, as you can see. You can see the buttons and stuff like that below. They have lights above them with the name of what the button does. So for instance, I would push like the direct monitor button, right? And the words direct monitor would light up. If I left that on and uninstalled the drivers, reinstalled them, and tried to hook up the unit again, every 3 or 4 times, the unit would be frozen. So there's a USB light that's supposed to come on right there. That's always supposed to come on. That's kind of like the power indicator that it's connected. And no lights would come on except for that direct monitor button if I had left it pushed before I did the whole process. So that light would stay on, but no other lights would. And if I tried to push any of the buttons to turn the lights on or off or turn that feature on and off, it wouldn't work. The unit was basically a brick with that. So I'd have to restart the whole process over again and hope that it wouldn't do it again. So it was very frustrating, and it was a 4 or 5 day endeavor, and I was trying to get things to work, and I just couldn't, and it made me very angry and highly disappointed because I was hoping so much from this unit. I was so excited with it. It's so small, it's compact, it promises a lot of things, and it just, to me, did not deliver because I spent the $120 or whatever for this, and I couldn't even get it to work at all. I basically bought a brick, a $120 brick, and I don't like that. So I want to make note of a few things. Now, this video is not meant to be defamatory or libelous towards Focusrite. I may or may not have gotten a single bad apple of a unit. The unfortunate side of that is that I know that I'm not the only one to have this very frustrating issue. Upon trying to find fixes for the issue, I found lots and lots of people who had the same thing happen and could not figure out how to fix it. Some people got fixes, but they didn't know what happened to get it to work. They did something and they didn't know what it was. But upon having this issue and trying to fix it, I discovered a whole world of people that have the same exact issue, and I just think that's very disappointing on Focusrite's end because something as simple as drivers for a unit like this, that should be something that you have nailed, right? And you have a name for yourself in this world, and you can't even get the driver situation right. And that to me just is a big red flag. And, you know, again, I might have had the one bad unit, but I doubt it because there's a whole bunch of other people that have the same exact issue. And if you can't even get the drivers right, I don't know what to tell you. And it makes it even more frustrating because it's not like it loads drivers from the unit. Like, you go to Focusrite's site, you pick your specific product, and you download those specific drivers for that product. So you go the extra mile to give people a drop-down list of the specific products to download the specific drivers for that product, and they don't even work. I don't know what the hell is going on there or what, but that is extremely frustrating. And it's just a combination of things have completely turned me off from Focusrite as of right now. The fact that I couldn't get this to work, how frustrating it was and how many hours I wasted trying to get this to work, the unprofessionalism of the individual that I basically spoke to get this fixed from Focusrite, and in the lack of caring it seems that they had to get this fixed. You know, some people may or may not know as much about tech as I do to try to get this to work. And there might be people who just want to buy something like this and want it to just work. And for those who end up with the issue that I do, they're kind of screwed. And it's really, I think it's wrong to do to your customers. And on top of that, I mean, I bought this through Amazon through store called Pro Audio Star. It's still from Focusrite, but it's from Pro Audio Star or something like that. And upon me going through the return process to send this back, they're making me pay the return shipping. So I think that's kind of bullshit that you do that, because they should make it free return shipping, because when you get an issue like this, now I'm paying because your product didn't work. I already paid a lot of money for your product, it didn't work, and now you're making me pay you again to send it back. I think that's wrong. That's just a way for them to get money out of you even if the unit didn't work. I think that's extremely wrong, and I find that highly disappointing on Focusrite's end. And it's been such a frustrating endeavor. All I wanted was a simple interface with low latency that I could record my guitar parts with, because I have issues with latency right now with my mixer. And I had very high hopes for the Scarlett Solo. 3rd gen, might I add. It doesn't say, it says it somewhere on here. But this is the 3rd gen of the Scarlett Solo, which makes it even more disappointing, because you had the 1st gen and the 2nd gen and now the 3rd gen, and you still have a problem with the drivers? Something needs to be done. And again, this isn't meant to be defamatory or libelous towards Focusrite. I want to point that out. It's more of a complaint, and probably a heat of warning for those of you who may be watching this thinking about buying the Scarlett Solo or any other Focusrite product. I just want to state that, you know, if you're watching this, you may or may not get a unit that's faulty like this or have the problems that I do. You know, I can't say whether you will or won't. But you need to know that there's a possibility that you will, and that there is a large population of people who have had the same exact issue that I'm having. So it's not like a singular isolated incident with myself. There's a lot of other people with this problem. And it's just extremely, extremely frustrating to have something like this happen, and, you know, just being such a difficult process to try to get it to work, to try to get technical support from the company itself, and then returning it and having to pay to return it for a product that just doesn't work. I think it's wrong. I think it's fucked up. And I think something needs to be done, because it's going to screw a lot of people over, and I really don't like that. It's almost like Focusrite is taking advantage of people, and, you know, I'm not claiming that they are, but it just seems that way with the way everything rolled out with my experience. And this is my first experience with Focusrite. So I am now going to be looking for a different interface from a different company. If someone from Focusrite somehow finds this and wants to try to correct the issue and maybe change my mind about it, I'm open to it. But for now, because of this experience and everything that I dealt with this Scarlett Solo, I will not be turning back to Focusrite. I will be finding an interface from a different interface company. So it is what it is. You know, this is basically a complaint. This is just my experience. If you're watching this, take it as a warning. Proceed with caution. And I'm highly, highly disappointed, especially with all the hype around this company. And this to happen, it's just extremely disheartening and disappointing. So it's wasting my time, it's wasting my money, and it's wasting my patience. That's kind of the end of my rant. I just thought I'd get it out there to you guys and anybody else watching as a warning, like I said, and a complaint. So, like I said, I'll be having a few more videos coming out here in the near future about some of the changes that have occurred to let you guys know, and then getting back to my regular content and stuff like that. So stay tuned for all of that. Let me know if you've dealt with a Scarlett Solo or any other Focusrite product and have had a similar issue, or maybe you haven't, or you know the fix. If you know the fix, that would be extremely helpful as well. Not that I'm going to use it, but others may be watching this and see your comment about what you did to fix it, and they might be able to fix it and not have to go through this process that I did. Either way, it didn't work for me. It was an extreme waste of time, money, and effort, patience, everything, and I will be looking elsewhere. So, thank you guys all for watching. Thank you for listening to this very long rant, and look forward to these upcoming update videos and more content coming soon. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for all you do. And like I always say, thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and clicking that bell. And I'll see you in the next video. Stay metal, my friends.